how did you first discover you had diabetes? And what was your initial reaction? Can you share a bit about your daily routine in managing diabetes and how it has evolved over the years? So
I discovered I had diabetes like exactly about 3 years ago. This is not right. About 3 years ago. That was in 2021. Yeah, I've never thought of it that I can't be diabetic because I don't take so much food. I'm not on the big side, and I don't have a very close family history. My parents, I have an 85-year-old dad and a 79-year-old mom. They are not diabetic, of course, they're diabetic. So I never thought, I didn't see it coming. But around that time, I was doing my research work, and my focus was on use of intravitreal vaccine. I know are those people that use this intravitreal vaccine. Most of my patient, the patient sample I was using for myself, most of them were diabetic because they're the ones that they have already had the ocular complication of diabetic. And I had this passion for them. Anytime I needed to give them injection in their eyes, I would check their fasting blood sugar. I would say like sometimes I'll have like a team of six that will come on the surgery day. So when they come like that, I'll go through their sugar. Some of them, on the high side because I have to counsel them on good control of their sugar level and all sorts. So I was so passionate about the work. I really felt for them. Some of them had already had vitreous hemorrhage that was sent to either Kaduna or Lagos for vitrectomy. So, but sometimes I had to take the data of what they eat and their diet and how they are using their medication and how much control they've been. So one of the days, I just asked one of my nurses that they should help me do the fasting blood sugar so that we write on their attested page. So I was just like, let me check. Wow. I checked, I had 9 point something. I was just like, oh, I eat in the night, of course, as a doctor, and I was in training. Then I was doing my resident training. It was a lot of stress. It was quite stressful that time, and sometimes I sleep late. I drink carbonated drink, like whatever. Ever since I've known myself, now doctors really don't cope. So I was just like, okay, last I think I still took coke and I ate late. I discarded it. But I was actually not comfortable with that because I knew that during the prior to that few like months or barely a year to that time, I knew something changed. I realized that I changed my glasses, more frequently during the COVID year. And I felt I was having this blurriness. Then another thing I noticed, I've never had UTI. I knew I had frequent urinary tract infection. I just felt what was the problem. But I never thought of it as an issue, as in pertaining to that. But immediately I saw that value, I was actually worried. So the following day, I tried to like eat normally. Then I checked again in another. I went to the lab. It was those 9 point something. This was Thursday. No, it was Tuesday. So by Thursday, I checked again at the lab. It was still 9 point something. So by Saturday, I just dashed to a bigger lab. So I went to do my fasting blood sugar again, and I did my glycated hemoglobin. And lo and behold, my glycated was still 9. So of course, having that, I knew that there is fire on it. There was fire on the mountain. And then you said that, what was my initial reaction? I felt so bad. I felt, wow, why me? Where did I felt so much uncomfortable and unhappy. And when I told my husband about it, he was just like, he calmed me down. And I remember, I can never forget what he told me. I said, you that you are a doctor, you just sit down there and tell your patient, you say a lot of diagnosis to your patient, you just slam it at them as if it's no big deal. And now, and I can say that, let me say, so that was just like, wow, me. And then I was just 41, if I remember. Yeah. So I was just like, where did I get this from? So of course, I couldn't just be sitting on the fence at that point. I needed to move forward. So I consulted an internal physician. So he assessed me, of course, just to went through the results. We felt we could do dietary mode. But I tried that time. I had to go. I went for a program in Kaduna. I spent some days, so I wouldn't eat. I was afraid of eating. I could not take my coke as usual. I really wanted it to crash. But in the whole lot of like 2 weeks, I was just having like 8.5. I knew I was so at the time. Dr. Sani just told me to come, just let's start with medication. That there is no big deal about diabetes as long as I get it controlled and no salt. So the shout I started on metformin. I just low dose. And I don't think I've never had more than 9.5 since then anyway. On some occasions that maybe I don't do well with my control, or maybe I go off drug. Because all of us we know that taking medication is not that convenient. So I try as much as possible. Every 6 months I do my glycated hemoglobin. The last I did was about 8 months now. I promised I was going to do another one before we come for this program, but I didn't do. And the last glycated hemoglobin I had was 5.5. But sometimes, sugar it fluctuates. You may not be able to tell. But what I realize is that the glycated hemoglobin does more of the justice to your status than the fasting blood sugar in itself.